Hello from my Airbnb in Florida. It is Wednesday afternoon. I got here on Monday, but that whole day Monday was like a travel nightmare. If you saw my last video, you know there was a huge snowstorm in Minnesota on Sunday, so I was a little worried that that was going to become a problem leaving on Monday morning, but it really seemed like everything was pretty well taken care of by Sunday night, and I didn't expect anything to be really causing delays at the airport on Monday. Gave myself some extra time to get to the airport and everything, and it started off great. Got to the airport on time, got through security pretty fast. It was at my gate, had like 40 minutes before we were gonna start boarding. Plane was on time and everything, like looked like we were totally good. And like 5 minutes after I got to my gate, the flight got delayed by an hour and a half, which, okay, not the worst thing in the world. And I was also getting like text notifications from Delta about the delays. And literally like 2 minutes after that notification came, got another notification saying that it had been delayed another like 2.5 more hours. So now we are at like a 4-hour delay. So I had gotten to the airport at like 8:45 in the morning and we were supposed to leave at like 10:30. Now we were gonna be leaving at like 2:30. But I tried to kind of like make the best of it. I was able to find like a very sunny, quiet spot to sit in the airport, got some work done on my computer, wandered around for a bit. As we got closer to boarding time, I went back towards my gate, get everybody on the plane. They're about to close the door and go. Like we are literally ready to go. Like everybody's on the plane, everything is all set. You can see the person standing there like about to close the boarding door. And then there was an announcement that there was some kind of baggage delay. And because of that delay, that even though it was only gonna be like a 15 or 20 minute delay, it meant that our flight crew was going to time out. So they were gonna have to find a new flight crew. So they made everybody get off of the plane. And basically at that point, they weren't sure how long it was gonna be because they said if there was like a crew at the airport that could come onto our flight, it might be like 20 minutes. But if they had to call in people from home, it was gonna be another 2-hour wait. And this is when people are like losing their minds. I mean, not really. I think everybody handled it pretty well. We understood that there was weather in Florida that was causing a lot of delays and a lot of problems. And actually a ton of other flights were canceled or like really, really delayed. So at this point, we were just sort of hoping that like the flight was still gonna go at some point. Long story short, or not really, it's kind of a long story anyway, but it took a while to get another flight crew. I think we finally left at like 4:30 p.m. So by the time we landed in Florida, it was like 9 p.m. Florida time. And I still had to like get over to the rental car place, which like you have to get on a shuttle and drive over to the rental car site. And then there was a long line at the rental car place because all of these flights that were delayed, like everybody was getting in late, getting to the rental cars late. And because it was 10 something at night at this point, there were only like 2 people at their rental counter. And so it just was taking forever. I think I finally got into my rental car after 10:30 p.m. Mind you, this is me who gets in bed at like 8 o'clock every night. So this is already way past my bedtime and I'm just trying to like hold it together and get to this Airbnb. So it's super dark out, then it starts raining. I'm driving to a place that I don't know in the dark. Thankfully, the directions were pretty simple and I was able to find the house pretty easily and everything. But I just was like so exhausted at this point. And I don't love like when I get to a new place or like an unfamiliar Airbnb or hotel or whatever, like I kind of like to take some time to settle in. That's why I usually try to fly earlier in the day and get there earlier because it just takes me a while. Like I want to unpack and I want to like let my nervous system calm down so that I can get to sleep and everything. And at this point now I'm kind of like exhausted, but also sort of wired. By the time I actually got somewhat settled and got into bed, I think it was 12:30 or something like that. And then of course I woke up at like 5:45 as usual and was kind of wide awake. I think just because again, I was in a new place and I figured better just like get up, get through the day, go to bed early and then try to like get back on track. So yesterday was rough. I was pretty worn out and I still feel pretty worn out. Like I feel kind of like hungover, obviously not from alcohol, but just from like staying up so late that night and getting like 4.5 hours of sleep. Last night I ended up going to bed super early and did get like almost 10 hours of sleep last night. So that was great and that helped a lot. So not the greatest start to this trip, but I am here for almost 2 weeks and I'm here for a horse show. So the barn that I ride with, the trainers that I ride with, they have a horse that the one that I actually rode back in December when I went to South Carolina, that's where the farm is based out of. And the horse is basically like available for for me to rent essentially and show if I want to. That's why we are here for the 2 weeks of this show. Good way for me to get a couple of weeks of consistent riding in. Maybe show if we feel ready for that, but we're kind of playing it by ear just because it's been a long time since I've done any showing and since this horse has done any showing. And even if we just do some lessons or practice, like that would be fine too. Anyway, went over to the show yesterday for the first time and had a lesson. That went pretty well despite me being like kind of a zombie. And then was over there again this morning to ride. I've just been back at the Airbnb for a bit, getting some stuff done, and then I'm gonna head back over to the show soon and take the horse out for a walk, let him have some grass, just get out of his stall, move around. The horse's name is Action, by the way. I'm not sure where that name comes from, but if I refer to Action, I'm talking about the horse that I'm riding for these couple of weeks. And this morning I got a little bit of a workout in. I had to be over at the barn pretty early, so I didn't get to finish my full workout this morning, but I want to show you one of the reasons why I chose this Airbnb. Well, I really didn't have very many options. There was like 2 places that were available for the dates that I'm here, but a big reason why I chose this one over the other option was because, hold on, check this out. There is a home gym in the garage. How cool is this? So in the morning, I can come out here, open up the garage, get some movement in, I can get out and get some sunlight at the same time. Don't have to drive like however far to find a gym. So definitely taking advantage of this while I'm here. And I'm going to finish that workout that I started this morning, and then we'll head back over to the barn. Good morning, happy Thursday. It's about 7:30. I think I got up around 6. I actually woke up at like 4:30 and then just kind of tossed and turned for a while. I must have kind of fallen back asleep at some point and then woke up around 6. And I'm still feeling pretty worn out, or like I haven't totally recovered from Monday's travel day. But I also haven't gotten any movement in yet this morning besides just like wandering around the house. And I know that always helps at least give me a little bit of an energy boost. I've just kind of been waiting for it to get light enough out to go for a walk. I have a lesson at 9:30 this morning, so I thought I might just get a little bit of a walk in, get outside, get some of that sunlight. And I think it's going to be another kind of overcast day. But even on those cloudy days, the sun is still up there. Still get a lot of good light exposure by getting outside in the morning. So I think I might just go out into the little garage gym and do some foam rolling and stretching until it gets light enough out that I feel like I can go take a walk around the neighborhood. And then we'll go have my lesson over at the showgrounds a little later. Good morning. It is now a little after 7 o'clock on Sunday. I'm having a lesson over at the show around 10 o'clock this morning, so I have some time. I'm gonna get a workout in. Yesterday when I was riding, I feel like I kind of tweaked a muscle. I just all of a sudden felt like a little twinge in my left adductors, and it's just been very sore ever since then. So I might have to kind of see what I can do in terms of strength training to make sure I don't aggravate that anymore, but also want to kind of get blood flow going, help that hopefully recover and heal quickly. It doesn't feel like really bad or anything. It just feels a little strained, but I have a feeling that riding is gonna aggravate it a little bit. So, I don't want this to turn into something that like lingers forever and is bothering me for a long time. But I'm sure I can find plenty of movement that will not be irritating to it and will hopefully help it heal or recover a little more quickly. I also feel like I haven't totally recovered from that really bad travel day last week. Or I don't know, maybe I've recovered from that and I'm just feeling really fatigued for other reasons, but it's felt like a very long week, to be honest. And it's been kind of a weirdly tough week in ways that I wasn't expecting. We'll do a little download on that and what's been going on maybe sometime tomorrow. But anyway, it's time to get moving this morning, see if I can get my sore muscles to feel a little better, get warmed up this morning, get some sunlight, and be ready to go ride in a little bit. Hello, it is now Monday afternoon. Monday is kind of the off day at a horse show. So basically the way it works is that Tuesday is usually like a warm-up day or practice day, and then the actual competition runs from Wednesday through Sunday. And there's like different divisions and classes and stuff each day of the week. I will be showing this week on Thursday and Friday, so we'll have a warm-up day tomorrow, and I'll have one day in between to just ride, and then Thursday and Friday we'll be competing. Anyway, none of that really matters, but I was over at the show earlier this morning and just took Action out for a long walk. Usually on Mondays we'll just hand walk the horses so they kind of have a day off, but I'm still feeling really, really fatigued. fatigued. I have felt quite worn out the whole time I have been here, and at first I thought it was just a long travel day and going to bed very late for me and kind of needing a few days to recover from that. But now we're a week later, I feel like I should kind of have gotten past that at this point, and I still just feel like even more fatigued than I would feel normally at home on an everyday basis. And I was really hoping that coming here to ride and show was going to be like kind of an energy boost and something that I could be sort of excited about and maybe be kind of like a motivation to do more riding and be more involved in this, because I really would like to. I love the horses. I've always loved riding and showing, and I really want it to be part of my life. And it takes a lot of physical and mental energy to do it the way that I want to be doing it. For me, it does mean I have to travel to train with the people that I want to train with and to kind of compete at the level that I want to. I just can't do that in Minnesota. And there have been times, obviously there was a year, I think it was 2024 to 2025, when I was leasing a horse and I was showing quite a bit, and I kind of managed to do that really consistently for a year, but it was also pretty exhausting to do that. And when I booked this trip and decided to come here and bring this horse down to Florida to show, I kind of thought like, oh, once I get there and like get in the routine and am back in the groove with riding and seeing everybody and just like being involved in the horse world, that I would remember why I loved it and like be motivated to do it, or kind of, like I said, get kind of an energy boost from it. And it just really hasn't happened. And I'm not entirely sure how to interpret that right now. I still am enjoying riding and being here, but I don't feel particularly like excited about it, or like I think basically what it is that like the amount of enjoyment and fun I'm getting out of it right now doesn't really outweigh the energetic output and like basically just stress that comes with it. And so I'm kind of just been debating this whole time that I've been here, like how much do I really want to do this going forward, or realistically, like how much energy can I put into it? And maybe now is just not the right time. Maybe by the end of this week I'll have entirely changed my tune. I don't really know, but it's just been kind of interesting to see almost like how my body has responded to this, and my like physical and mental energy has been throughout at least this first week that I've been here, and just like not really seeing that energy input coming that I would normally expect from like doing something that I really like. And I guess this can just be something that's like really frustrating with chronic illness, where like there are things that I want to do, but I want to do them, if that makes sense. Like I want to feel energized and motivated to come ride and show, and not sort of like, oh, that's going to be really hard and exhausting. So I don't totally know what this means long term for me and my horse ventures, but I guess we'll kind of see how the rest of this week goes, what it's like to actually show and be in the competition, or kind of how I feel by the end of the week or once I'm heading home. Good morning. It is early on Thursday. It's about 6:15, and today is horse show day. I'm heading over to the horse show first thing this morning, because the way it kind of works at horse show is that in the morning before the show starts, they will open up the rings where we will be competing, and you can take your horse in there and let them walk around or look at everything and just kind of get acclimated to the arena, so that when you go in there to show later in the day, it's not like the first time that they're seeing everything. So it's just kind of nice for the horse to get that time in there, and it's also kind of nice for me as the rider to kind of see what's going on. I'm heading over early to get action up to the show ring this morning before everything starts, and then that will end at like 7:30, and then the actual show will start at 8 a.m. And today my class is actually the first one to go at 8 o'clock. There's different divisions in the horse show based off like your age, whether you're a professional or an amateur like me, and then based off of the height of the jumps that you're jumping. Anyway, my class goes first this morning, so we'll be showing and done pretty early, which is kind of nice to just like go first thing, not have to wait around all day and kind of like anticipate showing later in the day. But since it is pretty early morning, I'm just bringing my hydration drink with me. I'm gonna just drink this before I get on to ride this morning. Probably eat a little something, just like a little snack before I show at 8 o'clock. I don't want to have too much in my stomach right before that, I don't think, but I also don't want to be like under fueled. So I'll take a little something with me to eat before I show, and we'll see how things go this morning. It is the end of the day at Thursday now. It's about 5:15. I finished showing pretty early this morning. I think we were done by like 9 a.m. and everything went pretty well. I'm just a little rusty because I haven't shown in over a year and this horse is still fairly unfamiliar to me. I've never shown him before and I've only really been riding him for these last couple of weeks. So as expected, I made some mistakes. He tolerated them very well and there was nothing like majorly bad that went wrong or anything like that, but just gotta keep kind of getting the reps in and practicing, and we have 2 more classes tomorrow, so a couple more chances to show, get that time in the ring, and hopefully just improve on what we did today. Good morning. It is now Sunday. It's just about 7 o'clock and today is my last day here in Florida. So I finished showing in the actual competition on Friday. Had a good second day of showing. We ended on a good note, so that was nice. And then I've just had this weekend to ride a couple more times before I head home tomorrow morning. I'm still feeling pretty conflicted in terms of how I feel about the horse thing and like how much I want to pursue this, at least right now. I'm glad that I came here to Florida and did these 2 weeks of riding, and there are so many parts of it that I really do enjoy and are fun for me, but I'm also just like exhausted and my fatigue has been really intense the whole time that I've been here, even though I'm sleeping quite well, so I don't think that's like a big factor. I think, like I was saying before, it's just sort of hard to really have fun and enjoy what I'm doing when there's like a strong background noise of fatigue and discomfort and just sort of stress around the whole process. But anyway, I guess I'll have to think things through a little more once I get home and can kind of reassess how I feel. Don't really need to make any huge decisions about that right now. I do have one more day here to ride, and then I fly out pretty early tomorrow morning. Before I head back to the barn this morning to ride, I'm gonna take advantage of this Airbnb garage gym one more time, get a workout in. Although I will say it's gotten a lot hotter here the last few days, and that garage gym is like a sauna. It's pretty intense, and it also has been raining quite a bit overnight and this morning, which I think is just gonna make it even more humid out there. So we'll see how long I last, but because it has rained so much, it's pretty wet over at the horse show this morning, and so I have to give it a couple of hours to dry out before I can go ride anyway, so might as well take advantage of some time this morning, get my workout in. Well, today ended up being like a complete washout. As you saw, the showgrounds were basically flooded. It just